Hey, AP World students, it's good to see you again. If you can see behind me, we have two puzzles up there on our wall. One of the hobbies the family's been doing is putting puzzles together, which has worked out pretty well. I have some more up there on that wall later, be able to show you. Let's get into our work. All right, so this is our video for Friday's lesson, and let's take a look at what we have to do. I'm not going to go over Unit 2. If you want to do anything, look at what for Unit 2, go back and look at the Unit 2 videos. But we're going to get into Unit 3, and we're really going to be looking at our DBQ today. The AP exam is going to be one DBQ, that is 45 minutes long. College Board should have sent you a video. If they haven't, contact me, and I want to make sure that you get a video from College Board about the new AP test. So the Unit 3 DBQ, so far you should have the notes done. You should definitely not do the SAQ, and LAQ that I sent you. Please do not do those because we're not doing those because those are not part of the test anymore for the AP exam. So as of right now, you should have the HAP steps done for all of your documents. Okay, so on our website, we got right here, you have the DBQ and you have your HAP steps. Those should be completely done at this point, and that is on the group graphic organizer right here. This is filmed a little early, so everyone's names are on here. Make sure this is done. I'll be checking this out as part of your grade. So if that's not done, pause the video, read the documents for your DBQ, go through all of them, and just like these students up here are doing, awesome, and go ahead and get those HAP steps done. Now I'm going to proceed because we're going to keep on moving ahead here. So after the HAP steps are done, we're going to move on. We're having a Zoom conference on this on Friday at 2 o'clock about the documents and other questions about the DBQ that you'll be able to bring up. But now what we're going to do is we're going to look at another graphic organizer, and I know another one. The teacher, Steve Heimler, who I have a great deal of respect for, many of you guys, we've watched our videos for review, has put up a graphic organizer for this DBQ. I've adjusted it a little bit, and in this video, I'm going to go over it with you and also go over the points. I may not have enough time because I can only make these videos 15 minutes long, so there may be a part 2. Be ready, you might have to watch 2 videos, but this is going to go over exactly what you need to do for the AP exam. So right now, why don't you have your DBQ open, have your HAP graphic organizer open, and go ahead and click on this one that says, here's your Heimler graphic organizer for DBQ number 3, and we are going to get into it. So I'm going to tell you what to do and also go over how you are going to earn points. So I put the prompt up here again for Unit 3 of our DBQ on here, and it says develop an argument that evaluates the extent to which rulers of land-based empires were able to consolidate their power in the period of 1450 to 1750. When you're filling this out, you may put the information I have in there that I'm typing, or you may put it into your own words. As you see in the document that you have when you open it up, yours will be blank. So I'm going to type on here, but then I'm going to erase it all, and then I'll post it for you. Let's look at the first one. So we have on the prompt, we are going to isolate what is the historical thinking skill. So looking at this prompt, I see develop an argument that evaluates the extent to which rulers of land-based empires were able to consolidate their power in the period of 1450 to 1750. So what of the skills do you think this fits? Is this a comparison? Is this a change? Is this causation? Or basically, what kind of historical thinking skill are you going to use for this? So if I look at this and I take a close look at it, I could probably go with a couple different historical thinking skills over here. Now, which ones would I want to go with for here? I could definitely go with a causation, kind of like talk about the effects of this, although it does kind of lean towards change as well. We're talking about how they consolidate or change. Possibly could be causation, like the effects that they had, what caused land-based empires to consolidate the power. So I'm probably going with causation and change. A comparison on a DBQ here would probably be tough unless all the documents are only about like 2 different empires. So we're probably looking at causation or change here. All right. Now, by the way, this graphic organizer, again, taken completely from Steve Heimler. So I'm trusting him on this one. It looks pretty good. So now our categories. Compare what? What kind of change are we looking at here? So let's look at this question again. Develop an argument that evaluates the extent to which rulers of land-based empires were able to consolidate their power in the period of 1450 to 1750. So what's actually going on here? What's happening? I think there are probably going to be some changes that are going on here as power gets consolidated. I'll put that down. Changes as power gets consolidated, but that could also be like effects. I'm going to put effects in there too, possibly. It could be changes or effects as power gets consolidated. And just that I remember this time period, there's a lot of things with empires and land-based empires are the emperors becoming real powerful. So probably a lot of things where like the emperors get more power is what we're probably looking at here. And it's good to think about these things before you just fully dive into your question. All right, so now time period, got to put it down there. It says period of 1450 to 1750. And there's some advice here on here. It says here, remember, 18th century, 1700s. 19th century would be the 1800s. You got to remember that. And some of the best advice that I've heard on this thing is that you are dumber than you normally are when you're in a rush and when you're under pressure. So just make sure you maybe even write that down. 18th century, 1700s, 16th century, 1500s, and go through it in your head a bit. And again, we are looking at land-based empires. That's our time period categories up on top here. I'm thinking about this again. We're probably looking at like Ottomans. We're looking at China is always a factor, and in this time period, we're probably looking at like the Ming Dynasty more than likely, or the Ming or the Qing Dynasty also strong possibility looking at here. Just got some ideas down there for the prompt of what I'm going to be writing about. So, okay, we looked at the prompt real quick. That looks pretty good. Now we're going to start looking at these documents, and you guys have already done the HAP steps for these. I got good news for you. Our next DBQ, you're not going to have to HAP every document. I'll explain more later. We're going to go directly to this one. So now I want to start looking at the main idea of these documents, outside evidence, and then I want to add something that you have from the HAP that's going to be on here. And I'm going to explain this with some ideas for scoring as well. So this is going to have to go with sourcing our documents. So I'm going to go to our rubric, and we're going to take a look at scoring here real quick. So all the way in the bottom, I put in, ooh, unicorn, cool. Anyway, all the way here on the bottom, I put down our scoring. So let's take a look at this. So I have here in my evidence area is where I'll get a lot of the scoring for the documents and analysis and reasoning. So let's go take a look. And you're going to find a lot of this is real similar to what we've already done. So let's look at our evidence from our document. So it says here, for 1 point, uses the context of at least 2 documents to address the topic of the prompt. Basically, that means if you are using content from 2 documents, you are getting the point if you use it correctly. So this point is pretty much 2 documents were used, you have something in there, it makes sense, it's about the document, you get that point. Everyone should get this point. All of you guys should get this point. Now, so up here, to earn a point, the response must accurately describe rather than simply quote the content from at least 2 documents. The advice from Steve Heimler, the advice from most of our AP teachers out there who I've heard from, do not quote. Do not quote. The readers already know these documents. Make sure you paraphrase. All right? Now, to earn 2 points right here, supports an argument in response to the prompt using 2 documents. What does that mean? It says right here, to earn 2 points, the response must adequately describe, rather than simply quote, the content from at least 2 documents. In addition, the response must use the content from the documents to support an argument in response to the prompt. Basically, what that means is if you have a strong topic sentence for your paragraph, and then you're able to give basically the main idea of the document that goes with the topic sentence you put. you're going to be able to earn those 2 points if you do that for 2 documents. Sounds kind of confusing, but here's the way you want to think about it. When we were practicing the DBQ before, you had to do this for 3 documents to get a point. Because this DBQ only has 5 documents, you need to do it for 2. So if you can adequately put a topic and have 2 documents to support it, you're going to earn 2 points. All right. Now, to earn 3 points, and by the way, this is you earn 1 point, this is you earn 2 points, and here's how you get 3 points. The response must adequately describe rather than simply quote the content from at least 4 documents. In addition, the response must use the content of the documents to support an argument in response to the prompt. So if you're basically able to have the main idea of 4 documents that go with topics and good topic sentences. So at this point, it'll probably be 2 paragraphs, topic sentence, 2 documents, topic sentence, 2 documents. Your evidence from the documents goes with the topic. You will be able to earn 3 points. That might sound kind of confusing, but basically do the exact same thing we did in the DBQ Saturdays and give as much of the main idea, what we called purpose on our Saturdays, for these documents. All right, we're definitely going to go 2 videos on this, but that's okay. Now, let's get to this next part here that says evidence beyond the documents. Right here. If you use at least 1 additional piece of specific historical evidence beyond the document, you can get a point. Now, you can't just throw in any old piece of historical evidence in there. It actually has to go with the topic. So our topic here is basically land-based empires consolidating their power. So if you can bring in outside evidence and bring it back to a land-based empire or any land-based empires, how they were able to consolidate power, you can get a point. Outside evidence does not have to be from any of the documents. All right. This was only worth 1 point before on the AP exam, but guess what they've done? If you have 2 pieces of outside evidence, you can get 2 points. This DBQ is worth a grand total of 10 points. 2 of these points can come from outside evidence. We need to get these outside evidence points. I know you guys can do it. We've studied this content throughout the year a ton. But again, you have to bring it back to the topic, and I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, let's go through one more point here, and then we're going to get back to filling out our graphic organizer. So for 1 point, explain how or why the document's point of view, purpose, historical situation, or audience is relevant to an argument. These are your HAP steps. Now, I was teaching you guys to do purpose plus 1 HAP step. I actually probably should have been teaching you guys to just give the main idea of the document and then give a HAP step, H, A, P, or P, historical situation, audience, purpose, or point of view. So if you can give the main idea of a document and then give one of these HAP things, like the point of view is, the purpose of the document is, this was meant for this audience, you can get a point if you do that for 1 document. Just one. 1 document you do a HAP step additional for, you get a point. And if you can do that for 2 documents, you get 2 points. Guys, the AP Saturdays we did and the HAP steps and everything we've practiced are going to give us an advantage here. We can do this. All right. So to earn these points, the response must explain how or why, rather than simply identifying the document's point of view, purpose, historical situation, or audience relevant to an argument about the prompt for each of the documents sorted. So let's go look up at our docs. So go back up to page 1, and I want to take you through document 1. I'm going to start this and probably continue this on the second video. The main idea for document 1. So you probably already HAP'd this one. So look at your HAP chart and also look at your actual document. So look what you put for your HAP chart, whatever you have for there for document number 1, and also go to your actual DBQ, and we'll take a look at that real quick. And actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do this for the start of the next video.